And when we have the collective energy of mindfulness, we can nourish ourselves, our family, our community. There is another factor that can bring happiness and joy, that is concentration. When you drink a cup of tea, you may choose to drink it with concentration, mindfulness and concentration. When you are mindful, your mind is with your body. You are truly there. You are real. You become real. And when you become real and true, something else will become real and true. That is life. Otherwise, life will be only a ghost, a phantom. And you are a phantom if your mind is not with your body. If you are real and life become real. So the cup of tea, part of life, become real. And you drink your tea in concentration. And you appreciate the tea. You enjoy the tea. If you are not concentrated, if you look at the television, if you listen to the music, and then the tea is lost. So concentration can be an element, a condition of happiness. And when we practice walking meditation, if you are really concentrated on every step, we touch the kingdom of God with every step, and happiness becomes possible. So mindfulness and concentration are the two sources of happiness. And we can afford to draw from happiness from these sources. And we can generate the energy of mindfulness and concentration with our practice of mindful breathing, mindful walking. The Buddha recommends another method of generating joy and happiness. That is the practice of letting go, releasing. There are things that we used to see as essential to our happiness, to our well-being, to our security. We cannot let them go. And maybe they are obstacle for our happiness. If we have the courage to let go, and then happiness and joy will come naturally. And we have to learn how to release these things. And you may like to take a piece of paper and write down these, the things that you can let go. One time the Buddha was sitting with his monks having lunch together. And a farmer came by, very unhappy. He asked, "Monks, did you see my cows passing over here?" And the Buddha said, "What cows?" "I have 3 cows. And I don't know why this morning they have all run away. And I have 2 acres of sesame seed, and this year the insect ate them all. Dear Venerable, I think I am going to kill myself. I have nothing left." The Buddha said, dear friend, we have not seen your cows crossing over here. Maybe you should go and look for them on the other direction. And when the farmer is gone, the Buddha turned to his monks and smiled. And he said, dear friends, you are very lucky because you don't have any cow to lose. So if we have cows, we know that maybe these cows are an obstacle for our happiness. We have to write down the name of our cows on a sheet of paper and see whether we can release them or not. Because they may be an obstacle for our happiness. Our idea of happiness may be a cow. We may believe that happiness is impossible until I get that, or happiness is not possible until I get rid of this. You might have ideas like that. And that idea may be the main obstacle for your happiness. You know, the Soviet Union was caught by an idea during 70 years that the only way to make the country strong is communism, is Marxism. And anyone who voices an idea that is contradicted to that will be put in prison. And you might entertain an idea of happiness for 70 years. And wait 70 years to release an idea is too long. So you may have entertained your idea of happiness for more than 3 years. It may be the obstacle of your happiness. So look at it again to see whether it is a cow that you can let go. And if you can let go of that idea of happiness, happiness will come right away. Please call your cows by their true names and have the courage to let them go. So letting go is a good practice. It's not because we acquire more and more that we can be happy. It is by letting go that we become happier and happier. Living in a crowded and polluted city with 10 million people, you suffer because of the noise, of the dust, of the pollution. But you don't have the courage to get out of the city for a weekend, to go to the countryside. Because you think that you have so many important things to do. But if you can get out of the city, and then after 1 hour you come in touch with the rolling hills, the full moon, the blue sky, the beach, the river, and your happiness, the happiness you are experiencing now, is due to the fact that you have had the courage to leave the city behind. So to let go is one of the ways to generate joy and happiness. And this is the teaching of the Buddha. And the teaching is still relevant to our time. And then when we have enough joy and happiness, maybe we are stronger in order to handle the block of pain, sorrow, fear in us. I think this is a very scientific way of approaching feelings. Because if a doctor judges that a patient is too weak, he would not allow surgery to take place right away. The patient should be should acquire some kind of strength in order to undergo a surgery. And this is the same here. Maybe we need some nourishment with joy and happiness before we can handle the block of pain and sorrow in us. That is why the fifth and the sixth exercise go first, and then the seventh come later. Many of us are afraid of going home and getting in touch with the pain inside. We are afraid of being overwhelmed by the pain. That is why our practice is to run away from our pain. But the Buddha recommends the opposite. Go home and take care of your pain. And you can do that without fear, because now you have, you know how to generate energy of mindfulness and concentration. And you are strong enough to go home to yourself, to recognize the pain in yourself and listen to it and transform it. Hello, my little pain. Hello, my little anger. I know you are there. I'm home to take care of you. I do not want to cover you up with consumption anymore. We consume not because we need to consume. We eat, we watch television, we have a conversation, not because we need to do them, but because we don't want to go home and touch the suffering inside. So even if the television program is not interesting enough, we do not have the courage to turn it off, because we are afraid that we have to get in touch with the suffering. So the practice of mindful breathing, the practice of mindful walking can help generate that energy of mindfulness so that we can go home to us, recognize and embrace our pain and heal. That is the teaching of the Buddha. The basic practice is mindful breathing, mindful walking. And if we are a beginner in the practice, we can also rely on the collective energy of mindfulness generated by the Sangha. You sit among your brothers and sisters in the practice. You allow yourself to be embraced like a drop of water allowed herself to be embraced and transported by the river. Dear brothers, dear sisters, here is my pain, here is my despair. Please help, recognize, embrace it. Alone, my mindfulness and concentration is not strong enough for me to do that. So that is why practicing with the Sangha is very important when your mindfulness is not solid enough. And that is why taking refuge in the Sangha is not a declaration of faith, it is a practice. You belong to a Sangha. You know how to make good use of the collective energy of mindfulness in order to embrace your pain and sorrow. And those of us who know that you have pain and sorrow, we sit there, we breathe, we help embrace your pain and sorrow, because you are a Dharma sister, a Dharma brother to us. So when the pain manifests as a source of energy, a block of energy, a good practitioner begin to recognize, begin to practice mindful breathing, mindful walking, to generate the second source of energy. That is the energy of mindfulness and concentration. And with that second source of energy, the practitioner recognizes the first source of energy, pain, sorrow, fear. My dear little fear, I know you are there. I will not run away. I am back to take care of you. That is the seventh exercise. Recognizing the painful feeling, the painful emotion. And the eighth is to embrace. Because you have enough of that energy to embrace the pain, the sorrow. When a mother hears the cries of the baby, she puts anything she's holding down. She goes to the baby's room and pick the baby up and hold the baby like this tenderly. So as a practitioner, we do exactly the same thing. The pain, the sorrow in us is our baby. We should not try to run away from it. We have to be there for our baby. We have to recognize it. And the mother does not know what is wrong with the baby yet. But the fact that she's holding the baby tenderly like that can already make the baby suffer less. So holding your pain with mindfulness, you don't know what is the root of your suffering yet. And yet holding like that can bring already some relief. And you feel better. That is why generating mindfulness and concentration and holding your pain is very important. You can suffer less, especially when you are surrounded by brothers and sisters in the Dharma who can help you to do the same. And after having held the baby for a few minutes, the mother can discover what is wrong with the baby. And she can fix the situation very easily. After having held our pain, our sorrow, our mindfulness and concentration may bring about some insight as what is the roots of this sorrow and fear. And you begin to understand the nature of our pain, our sorrow. Understanding will bring compassion and will show us the way in order to transform. And that is the object of other exercises that follow. But for the 7th and the 8th exercise, is only to recognize the pain, the sorrow, and to embrace tenderly with the energy of mindfulness and concentration. We shall continue tomorrow.